welcome back to the Tech Talks Daily podcast. How you all doing out there, gang? Well, once again, I'm here to facilitate a hopefully enlightening discussion with the movers and shakers of the tech industry. And today, I've got an exceptional guest. She's an inspiring lady. Her name is Elena Sinelnikova, co-founder of Metis and CryptoChicks. But she's got a great origin story too. A former Government of Canada solutions architect, Elena transitioned into an influential figure in the blockchain world, contributing to the growing decentralization of the Web3 economy. And CryptoChicks too is an initiative that she co-founded, which is a groundbreaking educational hub empowering women in the blockchain sector across more than 56 countries. But now, with Metis being a layer 2 blockchain, her and her team are providing a decentralized infrastructure to support the emerging Web3 economy. And having already raised more than 50 million and boasting over 110,000 wallets in their infrastructure, I think it's safe to say they're making significant strides in the blockchain ecosystem. So in today's conversation, we'll discuss her origin story, the story behind CryptoChicks, the role of Metis in layer 2 blockchain landscapes, and how they're making blockchain technology more accessible for everyone and increasing adoption. So buckle up and hold on tight as I beam your ears all the way to France, where she's waiting to speak with us today. So a massive warm welcome to the show. Can you tell everyone listening a little about who you are and what you do?
Certainly, Neil. Thank you for having me. My name is Elena Sinelnikova. I am a co-founder of the foundation and also decentralization coordinator at Metis DAO Foundation, one of the 7 that we have right now in the ecosystem. And I am also a co-founder of CryptoChicks, which is the educational hub for women as well. So these are my long titles.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you on the podcast. And something I always try and do with my guests before talking about the great things they're doing now is take them back in time and learn more about their origin story. And wow, do you have an origin story too? I mean, can you tell me about your journey from being a solutions architect for the Government of Canada to becoming the blockchain entrepreneur? And also, how did these experiences contribute to your current role? I feel there's a big story there. Is that right?
Oh, yes. My story with blockchain goes even deeper into my university years. That's where I first met my CryptoChicks co-founder and my now long time friend, Natalia Emlin. But yes, once Natalia, and actually then I followed her, we moved to Canada, I started working at the Canadian government. It's actually different government agencies as well. I worked as a consultant, and I also worked at the Canadian Police as well, at Edmonton and Edmonton Police, producing all sort of enterprise solutions, including all the systems that policemen, they have in their cars, for checking for criminals. And also the meeting management system in the city halls, for example, and also the system for people who are, addicted to all kind of drugs to, I recommend the proper treatment for them as well. So this is the government within the government program. So that these are the, applications that I developed and architected. So, and some of them are still working up until now, which is I'm very proud of. Yeah, so I have quite a bit of a story. I worked I met my co-founders like early when I was a teen. And yes, I also worked in the government, and then I joined blockchain because I just, didn't see any of my future further in the, traditional business or traditional government area, because it was all became very stale and boring with a very good salary, big vacation, but nevertheless, there was not that much excitement in the work. So blockchain was the answer for me. And once I started in blockchain, I co-founded with my friend Natalia CryptoChicks, which is the educational hub for women right now. We're in 56 countries right now, but back then it was just a startup with the name CryptoChicks, a nonprofit startup. And we so first we started with the meetups, and we were really successful because ladies back then, they just, were pouring into our meetups, learning from us how the blockchain works, how we were drawing on a whiteboard, and there was lots of aha moments. Oh, this is how it works. Oh, this is what the blockchain is. Yes, and then we moved into traditional conferences, calling up all the potential sponsors, where we were hit with the bills for venue, which we couldn't pay, and therefore we had to raise money from sponsors, and we were calling and saying, "Hey, this is CryptoChicks. Would you like to support us?" And who? Why? Yes, but nevertheless, we rose money, and IBM supported us, Microsoft, Deloitte, Accenture. So we managed to get support from all these big, huge companies. They all came into our conference, and 170 women came from all over the world, hacked on our first hackathon, the CryptoChicks hackathon in Toronto in 2018. So that was a blast, and we continued, and we were invited to speak at the Draper's University right away. We spoke there in an international crowd full of people. We were speaking about blockchain. We were invited on many, many conferences as well to explain, because we found a way to explain the blockchain. And then I met my co-founders in one of the CryptoChicks conferences, my Metis co-founders, Kevin Liu, Yuan Su. Kevin came to me with this idea, so why don't we build the whole, layer for business to onboard businesses onto the blockchain? So of course, we need to make it scalable on Ethereum. So we tried to solve all this problem. We built the whole layer 2. Now working, we have 60 people that working right now in the layer 2 with all the marketing, business development, and the developers that are, continue to develop this business. Well, now we're moving on into the new ventures on the deeply technical innovation. So it's an exciting journey. It's long. It's not ended. Sure, a long way to go.
Incredibly cool story. And as you said there, fast forward to 2023, DC of Metis Style Foundation and the co-founder of the Metis Layer 2 blockchain. And I'm conscious we will have a few people listening that are just hearing about you guys for the very first time. So can you just offer a bit of a brief overview of what Metis, a little about its core mission and the problems that you're solving?
Mm-hmm. Yes. So we started Metis initially as the Web3 economy to onboard businesses and people on blockchain easily. So because we wanted to onboard outsiders to blockchain, because our Web3 space is not large. It's very fun. It's good, innovative, but there's outsiders are not coming to us that easy because of the complexity of this technology. So when we started being Web3 economy, we started from the infrastructure and the layer 2. That's what first came to our mind. We didn't find any existing layer 2 that we could rely on, so we had to build our own. Why? Because we wanted transactions to be very cheap, like 1 cent. And we want to be like them that's still very, very fast. So we couldn't find anything at 1 cent and very, very fast. So we built our own and we succeeded. So Metis right now is a layer 2 that with the transactions that cost only 1 cent, that completely decentralized, that is very fast. But we're also now building on top of it, different businesses, as we call econodes, that is now tackling this Web3 economy, onboarding users. So we're looking for the use cases and trying which use case is going to work with which business, with which user, building this Web3 economy. Long story short, Metis is a Web3 economy based on a robust layer 2. There you go.
And so we don't leave anybody behind, for anyone new to this space, can you just expand on what challenges in the current blockchain environment that layer 2 addresses?
Mm-hmm. Yes. So in a blockchain environment, we have basically 2 ecosystems that are, decentralized and that are the most decentralized. We have Bitcoin ecosystem and we have Ethereum ecosystem as well. Though we have many other, layer 1s that I don't want to, miss you guys. If anyone a fan of the layer 1s, the Near and all other, BNB chain, they're also great. They are building and I respect them very much. But Ethereum is something that I consider is the top of the top for me, because it is the most decentralized. It is the buildable on, so you can build applications on top. But the challenges of this very great Ethereum, ecosystem is if you try to build on Ethereum, even it's, it's somewhat easy, you will be hit with the big transaction fees at the times when the amount of transactions are rising. So this is inconvenient. And sometimes also in these times, it's also very slow to approve the transactions. So you will be waiting for some time while your a transaction approved. So it's not very scalable in the sense, though Ethereum community is working on scaling it. And one of the ways to scale it is a layer 2. It means that there is a layer that built on top of Ethereum that is actually batches up the transactions and saves the transactions. There's one batch, like let's say, just out of the argument, 100 transactions batched, they all saved until layer 1 at one transaction. And the cost of the transaction split between them all. And while you get this layer 2, cheap transactions, and they are faster. So this is what the layer 2 is, which is solving the scalability problems of the layer 1, which is Ethereum.
And I'm curious, do you see a way that L2 could help migrate, let's say, Web2 businesses to Web3? And is current legislation ready for such a migration? I appreciate it's a huge topic and a massive question, but I'm just curious how you see that.
Yeah, well, I mean, if we go into legislation, regulations, of course, we would like, to build a layer 2 for the regulations. It means that speed up the regulations a little bit because we need them very much, and businesses do need them very much as well. We all want to be protected, The founders in the blockchain space want to be protected. The users that are using this want to be protected. The businesses want to be protected. Unfortunately, this is not what is happening right now. But nevertheless, we right now are finding the use cases that not contradict to the existing regulations, just to keep up even with the speed that regulators are working really hard working right now. But we finding the use cases that are applicable to the businesses within the current regulatory landscape. So this is, we're building different ones and we're offering it to the businesses and we see how they react. We see what the market need is for them. There is a lot of need, like, for example, I can tell you, there is, for example, need to secure IoT devices. So all these feeds from the cameras. And right now we know with AI, it can be, like, first, the camera can be intercepted and the camera you can feed to the camera the fake video come true, right? So and then imagine in the police, you will see the feed from the camera that is intercepted, and it's going to be disaster. So something like that, we can solve the problem of securing this camera, settling transactions on Ethereum, let's say, and then you for sure will know if this is camera intercepted or not. So that's kind of use cases. We don't need the regulations for that, but at the same time, it is already can be applicable to the existing business, and it's very.
And I was just going to say that I think the biggest thing right now is increasing adoption. We are in Web 2, we're building for Web 3, and I think that transition is the magical moment. So how do you envision Metis shaping that future adoption that we need, and also the future understanding of blockchain technology for business leaders too?
Yes. And thank you for the question, regarding the Metis. It's like, as a Metis, we built our ecosystem the way that we form different businesses, different startups that are focused on one problem, like on that very, laser focused. That's how we do. This is our strategy. Let's say that we focused on just the security, or we focused on just the, like, for example, marketing industry, or we focused on the, any specific use case. So we call these businesses, startups, eco-nodes. So right now we have 5 eco-nodes in the Metis ecosystem. There will be more as well, and they're growing from the community. And that's how we strategize to, onboard the businesses from outside, just creating a use case, offering it to the business and see if it goes or not. And just, repeat until it succeeds. So that's kind of like, this is the strategy. And I know that it's actually a lot of the innovators in different ecosystems, in different layer 1s, layer 2s, they're working on the same problem as well. So whoever get there first, it's very cool, but we will get there, all together. I believe in that. All together, we will get there. If we don't get there first, I will not be upset, if it's not going to be, yes. But once somebody get there first, somebody will onboard this Web 2 and it picks up, then we can all, leverage from it and benefit from it. So yes, we need just the first lead to pan out with the Web2 businesses.
And what would you say differentiates Metis from, or let's say, other layer 2 blockchain solutions that are out there at the moment? What unique advantages does it also offer over other layer 2 blockchains? Is there anything else you can share around there?
Yes, again, different layer 2s, if you take Optimism, for example, so they focus on the public goods, right? So and then this would be their differentiation. Metis is focusing on making blockchain useful by businesses, they're used by businesses, so that and building a Web3 economy, how we call it. So this is our differentiator of, this is just kind of like strategic one. We also have differentiator in the technology one, as I said, that we build the technology for enterprise level, which means that enterprise very fast, enterprise very, very cheap transactions. And we also build in technologies so users don't even need to pay transaction fees, even though the fees will be there, so no scammers can, come around. But so we also building it for the usability. So we're focusing very much on the usability, so on easy onboarding of the people, creating the tools that they can just, log in with Google or log in with the username and password, using very familiar tools, but without even knowing they're on the blockchain, but at the same time using the blockchain technology underneath.
Exciting times. And there is a lot of hype and excitement around a Web3 economy and where we're heading right now. I've got to ask though, do you think it's truly possible with the current state of DeFi and what kind of technology in the industry is still lacking that will, once it's there, will increase adoption again?
Mm-hmm. Yes, so DeFi is actually a very cool invention of our, ecosystem of the blockchain space, and I'm sure there will be others too. So what DeFi is the basically environment that will allow people to invest money and to grow money in the decentralized way. It means that there's no institution or bank in the middle. So you can basically, lend and borrow from each other, from person to person, and do it in a secure way because it is secured by the blockchain. It is secured by the smart contract. So you can actually lend money to someone you don't even need to trust. And you can, and this person will pay you, percentage of this loan. So something like that. So, and the banks are not even needed, like the central party not even needed there. It's very cool. It's working, for sure working, but there's a lot of still things that we still need to build to make it first usable. So if you go right now to any DeFi application, it is most likely you will not understand what's going on in there. Because yes, you need to dig through a lot of YouTube videos. So you need to do a lot of education on how to do it, on which buttons to click, and how to do it on secure way, and where could be the possible mistake that you can make, or how can you lose money, because you definitely can lose money with DeFi. You can earn money with DeFi 100%, but you can lose money with DeFi as well. This is something that people who you're listening right now, if you don't know what DeFi is, you have to remember that. Don't go into something that you don't know. You have to study first. And this is what DeFi right now, DeFi developers, that's what they're working on the usability, on making it usable by everyone. It is sometimes not a priority though, so that's why we're a little bit lacking in that. But this is one of the points to improve the usability. Second, you also need to understand right now that one DeFi application, it could be different from the other one. Even though you might think it's completely decentralized, you don't know from the if you just go into UI, you don't know if it's a really decentralized or there's someone in the back end. So yeah, you need to do a lot of digging to understand how this platform works, whether it's going to be, people that you'll be talking to, or you actually talking to the smart contract. So this is another thing that's probably the obstacle. And also it is for the users right now, you're required to have some kind of basic understanding of the finance, of the terms, the API. Is that it turns for example, like in lending, borrowing, like how it works. So collateral, like all these things, you need to have kind of like almost a degree in order to use it. Yeah, all this, of course, not helping, but these are the obstacles, but the industry is still developing. All the innovators are innovating this space. All the usability people, they are implying the new things. It's going to get better, but not perfect yet.
Awesome. And one of the reasons I was excited to get you on the podcast today was to demystify this technology, put it in a language that everyone can understand, increase adoption, get more businesses on board. But of course, we're also going to have some members of your loyal community listening. They know everything inside out, and they've tuned in for different reasons. They want to know more about what the road ahead looks like. So what does the future look like for Metis in the layer 2 ecosystem? And can you share any plans, vision or teasers for the company and what we can expect in the coming year?
Oh, yes. So, yes, at Metis, we always focused on the innovation. We'll focus on the business part as well, and we do this well. But because I am as a software, engineer by profession, and my co-founders as well. So we're focusing on innovation a lot. So one of the innovations that we're working on right now is to create a hybrid rollup. So the obstacle that we're facing in layer 2 space, even though the transactions are cheap and fast, in order to withdraw money from layer 2 to layer 1, you still need to wait for 7 days. And this is for DeFi, for decentralized finance. It is unacceptable. So we're working on technology to close this gap without changing that much of the code. So we're working on kind of on a plugin that will just can plug in and approve transactions right away in a secure way, not the bridge, but the technology that actually works. So this is we call right now hybrid rollup, and that is something that is coming up. Another thing that is coming up, and this is something that people should be aware about. Our blockchain technology is built on decentralization concept. It means that we are offloading the responsibility from particular company or particular person for the things that are going on and putting it more on a technology, on a machine, because you cannot bribe technology. You cannot put technology into jail. You cannot, handcuff technology, right? So that's why we're building decentralized technology, so we can rely on it and not rely on people that built it. So for that, for example, for our layer 2, we are building decentralized sequencers that are held by the people in the community. And there are many, many of them. Let's say that you have a computer at home, so you can become one of the decentralized sequencer. I mean, that you can become one of the producer of this, blocks of the transactions and save it into the layer 1. But there will be competition between you, and there will be, certain, business model, certain, punishment and the reward as well. So all that we're also building it called decentralized sequencers to offload responsibility. So it's not, Elena or Metis team that right now that holds this sequencer, but it's actually all the community. So Elena can go on vacation in Paris, and have fun, and the system keeps working. So this is something that we work on. It's already decentralized. No, it's not dependent on Elena. I already can go and have fun in Paris, or somewhere, or, in the North Pole. But we building technology that is truly decentralized. And this is all layers 2. I know that working on the same thing as well.
Wow, exciting times ahead. I think you've given your community lots to think about there. And we started the podcast today talking about your origin story, what put you on this path you're on, and we've followed your entire career, looking towards the future and the great things that are happening there. But before I let you go, I think that none of us are able to achieve any degree of success without a little help along the way. So I'm curious, is there a particular person that you're grateful towards who maybe helped you get where you are today, and maybe they saw something in you, invested a little time? Who would that person be? And maybe we can give a little shout out and a thank you to them today.
Thank you very much for this question. Though, I usually don't have, favorite, my life depends on one person. It's probably several people through my life that helped me. So, for example, I'm very grateful to Natalia Amelin, who got me into that space, blockchain space, who opened it up. Very grateful to actually Vitalik Buterin, who is, who invented Ethereum.
Yeah.
Very grateful to him, because, that's what prompted Natalia to create a wallet. That's what prompted Natalia to ask me to help her with the wallet. That's how we started CryptoChicks. And that's the whole story, unfolded. So I'm grateful to them. I'm grateful also to my co-founder, Kevin Liu, my Metis co-founder, Kevin Liu, who came to me with the idea and say, hey, Elena, let's do it. Let's do the Web3 economy. And I'm very grateful that he did a lot of hard work prior to it, before even, came, and believed him. But once I believed him, yes, no, we are together, and then yes, we are building great things together. So I'm very, happy about that as well. I'm very also grateful to Yuan Su, who is my other co-founder at Metis as well, who such a genius, who actually helped to spike this innovation after innovation that get us where we are right now. So probably these 4 people. Oh, and I'm very grateful for my husband, for putting up with me, Andrei, who is putting up with me and helping me in every aspect so I can actually do this.
I think you will be able to eat safely tonight. You've managed to get your husband in there at the very last moment, so that's all good. But in a more serious matters, I think we're all too familiar with celebrating the success of people, putting somebody on a pedestal at the top of the mountain. But I think it's that long climb, that 10-year overnight success story that we often hear about, and the people that help us through those times. So thank you so much for sharing that. And for anybody listening that wants to find out more about Metis, maybe they want to even join your community, ask a few questions, where would you direct everyone listening to?
Absolutely. So you can go to metis.foundation website. You can go to also metis.io, metis.io website. And also we have a Twitter. We have a Metis DAO Foundation Twitter. We have Metis DAO Twitter as well. And if you're interested in learning, you can go to CryptoChicks.ca. So this is our, other website that is dedicated to the education of, women and children, but we accept everyone. So yes, you can go to this one.
Oh.
If you are around at the conferences, we have our next Metis Fest at ETCC in Paris. That's going to be on June 17th. So this is something that we're going to do as well for the community.
Fantastic. Love chatting with you today. I always say at the end of every episode, technology works best when it brings people together, and hear about your career, your work with CryptoChicks, the path to Metis and layer 2 blockchains, lowering the barrier of entry to blockchain technology, increasing adoption, ultimately to power the Web3 economy through open, trustless and decentralized collaboration. Inspirational talking to you. I'd love to stay in touch with you, get you back on towards the end of the year, see how things are evolving. But more than anything, thank you for sharing your story with me today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Wow, what an incredible origin story, unique journey from solutions architect to influential blockchain entrepreneur. And for me, it was just fantastic to learn more about the work with CryptoChicks and what she's doing to empower women in blockchain and the impactful contributions that Metis is making to the Web3 economy. And I think, as we've discovered today, lowering the barriers to blockchain technology, building a more decentralized internet, it doesn't have to be just a dream. It is an attainable goal that organizations like Metis and CryptoChicks are tirelessly working towards. And I know there's a hugely powerful community right behind them every step of the way. And if you're new to this industry, I hope we were able to put it in a language that everyone can understand, because I think educating, getting more people on board, that's how we increase adoption. That's how we make it more attractive to businesses. So I hope you all gleaned a little insight from today's discussion. And remember, the future is decentralized. And it is closer than you think. But as always, if you've got anything you want to share with me, any questions, whatever it is, just email me, techblogwriter@outlook.com, or DM me on LinkedIn. I'm just at Neil C. Hughes, and Twitter at Neil C. Hughes too. But that's it for today. So join me again tomorrow as I continue this journey through our exciting world of technology with another industry leader. But please, stay curious, stay innovative, keep exploring that digital frontier. But it's time for me to sign off. So thank you for listening as always, and until next time, don't be a stranger.